Welcome back to another episode of Practical Spiritual Advice by Infinite You, which is me, which is you, which is we. All right, guys, let's buckle up. Here we have another episode. We're going to get into cities of light and what that means. I'm your host, Harold Honow. I am the owner and founder of Infinite You Wellness Plus Synergy, and this is our podcast where we go through a storytelling of the things that, I'm kind of going through as an entrepreneur, as a light worker, as a person that's here to bring about this heaven on earth, as the herald. I give you this information in what I view to be practical application of a spiritual awakening. And what does that process look like for me personally? But Infinite You is about a we thing. And so when we each go through these ascension processes, these nodes of evolution or awareness or projects that bring some coherence to the world or some light to the world, food, sovereignty, solving the homeless epidemic, the, scarcity and healthy food, right? And just a lot of things in the world today, it is sitting in a space of disharmony, incoherence, lack of integrity, lack of transparency. And through the process of this journey of me, the herald, the official messenger for the ascension process here on planet Earth, I have a data set that can help inspire a shift within each human being if I'm just paid attention to. That song comes around, comes out around Christmas time, and it says, "Hark the herald angels sing." So I had to look that up because nobody tells me to hark anything. And, only in that song. So what does harking mean? To hark the herald means to pay close attention to the messenger. And the information within this series, within this podcast, is a message of the ascension process laid out in a this evolutionary step of action, awareness, integration, transmutation, letting go of old ways, all these different modalities and opportunities and experiences that have come in front of me and through me where I put these into this form. So at this point in time, where the herald's journey has led us is another closing the loop on a particular experience within my past that I get to revisit that brings a harmony to, the process that I've been on. And also this, for the title of this episode is Cities of Light. And what does that even mean? This term, Cities of Light. So we know what a city is, right? Now, of light. That may be the confusion that may get people looking at what that vision is for them is different. And for me, it is, as I've said before, light is a carrier of information. You can store information within light and deliver it through light. And so that would be basically a dwelling, a city that carries light. And when you are wanting to be in the know on the light that you are wanting to, or the information you're wanting to put into the light, then you may want it to be, harmonic, resonant, have it make sense, the encodement of that, jumping on the piggybacking of the light is what these cities of light would mean for me, and being able to put the information that I am and that we are, which is an evolution. We're transitory beings within a shift from one state into the next. And that's where part of my mission is to talk about 2027 and where we go from, at that point, what that means. And, as we come up to that point, I have a particular mission that I see that is a nodal point of 2027. And there are certain things that need to be activated or that could be activated to help the mission along its way. And one of those things is our own space. It's having our own, whether it's land or an event space or a warehouse, something. Here at Infinite You, we have products, we have, things that we create ourselves, that we produce. We host events, we have modalities that we bring to the community that help them. So we could use all kinds of space to do things. And now this, a place here in San Antonio, it's a hidden gem. And it's called Denman Estate Park, Denman. And this park has, what it was originally, now that because of, what has transpired recently, I've had to look into the history of this place and find, a lot of information about this land. And I hope it doesn't fall at that. What we're at right now is the possibility of purchasing 7.7 acres of land next to this city park, this community park, this hidden gem in the city that has a South Korean donated pavilion. It's a dragon pavilion, and it is part of this connection that a lot of cities have throughout our nation and throughout the world, are these sister cities. And they all came about in the late 40s and 50s, and this is to keep our connection and our culture interconnecting and cross-pollinating so we don't fight, And so sister cities, San Antonio has a few, and these are cities in other countries that we connect with, and I don't know what all the details are, but at this particular juncture, South Korean city of Gwangju donated a pavilion, a dragon pavilion at this Denman Estate Park. And in 2010, October 29th, 2010 to be exact, it was erected. It was put together, and I believe that was the date that it was, official, that they released it to the public as a public space. And it's a beautiful pavilion. The wood that was used, now, mind you, this thing has no nails. It has what looks like a little bit of concrete to hold some of the roof together, but it is all solid wood. And the wood was it was grown in Canada. It was shipped to South Korea. It was hand painted and carved, and then sent to San Antonio for assembly. And it is a replica of a South Korean temple. I don't know the name of this, but the South Korean temple in South Korea is for prosperity. And, the whole process for, finding the proper place for this temple, this pavilion, and all of that, there's a lot of reverence and appreciation for land and energy and timing and rushing and not rushing to get it right. And when I look back into the articles of, how the energy was exchanged, the workers' stories and tales from the press about what they saw at the opening of this, for this pavilion. And it's crazy because, when I first saw this, and as it is now, there's a little, you can walk around it, but it's this little fence thing, this chain rope that they put there to not allow people to go into the pavilion. Like, it's there, but you can't even use it. Like, why? I don't understand. I have to imagine that came in afterwards. That someone came in after the South Korean, builders left, and they're like, all right, put the fence around it. We don't trust these people around here. So, and it's just not the way it should be. It should be open to the public and used for meditation, for yoga, for stretching, for gathering, for all kinds of really cool things. And the city has fallen flat on its promise to use it as a space for prosperity, for communication, for culture sharing. And this property that is for sale next to it is quite fascinating. It's got I call it a mini mansion. It's got a bunch of rooms, 3 floors, but it's definitely not like a really big like place. And I don't know, I haven't walked through the entire house myself. I've walked on the outside and I've looked at some of the rooms and wow, that room's actually a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. But anyway, it has this mini mansion built in 1936. Mr. Denman and his wife, and he has his own history. You can look him up. But for whatever it is, after his passing, the part of the property was donated to the city, and so that's why it's this city park, to preserve this land, this nature space in only a few blocks away from the medical center area, which is a high traffic. There's a lot of apartments. There's the highways. Less than a quarter of a mile away. You're in the heart of the city, and you find this beautiful, majestic little space. And over the years that I've seen it, I think the first time I went there was maybe in 2012 when a friend of mine guided me there. Well, I didn't say, I say that. He said, hey, have you heard about Denman State Park? It's cool, right? So that's him guiding it to me, guiding me there. But to walk the space and see the timing of October 29, 2010, and my own spiritual awakening of if for those that have heard my story and know this part of it, I had my awakening at the age of 33, and it is known that my birth date is 11/22/77. So that will validate the timing, and somewhere around this time, before I believe my 33rd birthday, this timing, somewhere around this time, like there was this awakening period in my life where I cried myself to sleep and asked for guidance. And now, so the plaque that is on the side or next to the pavilion has the date stamped right there. And it's going there, when I first saw it, the water in the pond was more filled, and it was really beautiful. And I was like, wow, look at this. This is just like amazing. Nothing needs to be done. It's a really cool space, and that's what I saw it as. But as time has passed, the water in the pond is now down. It's 3/4, 75% is gone. It's only down to 25%. They added in this island or peninsula just to take up more land where water once was, and some of the trees are dying, and there's more trash, and even the moon labyrinth that's on the property was, the bushes to guide you through the moon labyrinth were all torn down, so it just looked like now I don't know. So it's just all this stuff, and there's not proper stewardship of the land, and in the deed of the land is written that it must be maintained. That property is part of, like, the property for sale. To steward the park city property is part of the deal. And for those that have listened to me enough to know what Infinite You is about, when we get into land stewardship, bringing about this heaven on earth, what does it look like, and how do we get there, and what are the interim steps between it all? And that would involve all kinds of things, but that's food, that's shelter, that's energy, that's air and water, all the basic necessities to be a human, plus the spiritual aspects, the grounding, the connection, the understanding, and all those things have now put themselves right in front of me with this land. This 7.7 acres, and the people that I have connected with, the network of humans that are around me that have heard and watched me move, right? They've watched me tell these stories of all these amazing things, and all the action steps that I've taken to be in very uncomfortable places and do things that I don't want to actually do. Like meeting with politicians and going to places to talk with like the people that are putting the downtown, trying to re-innovate downtown San Antonio and do really big things in the city, talking about billion-dollar deals and stuff. I've gone to meetings and just hung around these people that don't know anything about what I'm talking about. And actually, you know what? Let me take that back, because sometimes some of these people, when I get into deeper conversations, when I go to these things, I find them bringing about their own spiritual awakening, or having an understanding of this, quantum mechanics or manifestation, or, even scratching the surface with, ooh, what's a sound bath, or I do yoga, or I believe in art, and believe in art, but like I push art, and I care for, human expression and all those things. And sustainability and regenerative culture, and all that. Those are things that you will find as a commonality amongst the people. It's well known that we're in a space that we won't survive if we keep going down this way. We all know that. There's no secret about that. We'll destroy ourselves. We will choke ourselves out. We will no longer have food, air, water, and shelter if we keep going in the direction and the pace that we're going at. And so there begs a push. I've described it many times. This transitory process is a birthing process as well. And it's quite evident in all the signs that we can see cosmologically, and just, within ourselves and on our planet, and with systems and people and things and projects. There are many things and pieces and parts moving, and some are washing away and becoming more transparent so you can see what you want and what you don't want. And some are brand new things that you're like, that's the shit I'm talking about. And let me go ahead and touch on some of those things that you can discover through the Herald. I'm gonna go back and forth here real quick. Just bear with me for a second, because it's a thought that I had in the beginning when I started this. And as the title of the show is Practical Spiritual Advice, I want to make sure that I'm giving you, at whatever level you're at, some actual practical spiritual advice. I don't expect you to go buy land, build Benny shells and earth ships and geoships and all these different things right off the bat and have the connections to do it all. I mean, I am here as a resource to get some of those things done, but I'm in no position to be like the authority on all of it at the same time right now, but that's where we're leaning into. But I want to remind you of how small some of these action steps actually look that create the larger ripple of what I'm expressing that I'm in the midst of doing right now, right? Because at the end of the day, I want you to take this information and put it into use. I don't want you to just think that, oh, okay, cool, Harold's doing it and his crew, they're doing it. That's not the idea. the idea is for you to see, feel what I'm telling you, along with some of your own dreams and ideas and projects and perspectives on what is essentially the same thing on the other end of this, where we have, sustainability, regenerative, like it's just a different way of being. It's not going to look the same. And it's not going to be good for the soul to go through a shell shock, so this is the small ways, very small. And if you've hung on for this long and you've listened to any of the other podcasts or know me at all, personally or digitally through any of the social media platforms, then you know that I'm telling the truth. You resonate. Today is Blue Resonant Night within the galactic calendar. So today is the 7th tone. That's the resonant tone. And we're at that space of resonance, of being in the center of the new self, right? As the 7th tone would be the center of a 13, centered being, a 13 chakra being, if you will. We're evolving, we're getting bigger, we're expanding and taking up more space. So I'm bringing you into this realm, and I'm offering all the work that I put in and the people that I've connected with that have the different skill sets and projects and look, when you get in this, we're talking about someone's got to run HR. Someone's got to there's just so many pieces and parts to this. We have a team now that has a lot of this dialed in, and now that we have this property available, we're going to have a space where you can really dial in and get your feet wet and figure out what part you want to play, and the way that this practical application could look for you right now, other than, you've listened to some of the other information that I have to get you into your children's school and say, hey, do y'all have a garden? Things like that, right? Hey, I started a guided meditation in my local park, or let me find a local nonprofit that puts gardens in schools or cleans up the local waterways, or a whole host of things. But right here, right now, I'm giving a call to action, and, we could use a ton of practical application in the form of assistance, in the form of sharing this information, in the form of donating, in the form of, again, figuring out, where your story is, where your gifts lie, in order to, look, some of these may be very big moves, and like, hey, I want to move to San Antonio and I'm going to, move there and help with this mission, because where we are, and then I want to bring it back, right? Because I just want you to know I'm here to give you some practical application. So now let's take it to the here and the now. And the reason I'm doing that cleanup was for you not to get lost in the sauce, in my sauce, right? Because a lot of this is I've been doing this for 14 plus years now. And if you're new to this spiritual awakening process, I do not expect, we're just not, like, I can draw myself back to the beginning, but that's not what I'm presenting right now. I'm presenting a person as a person. I'm identifying as a person that has been on the spiritual path for quite some time and been in the embodiment process of it for quite some time. And so let me help you. And this is some interim ways that you can give in, because we're at a process now where I can actually call forth and give people calls to action to assist, and have a place that we can all look at and say, wow, that's the place that's for sale, and I have a buy-in. If I help, I donate, I find some way to support with this in whatever way that may be. It could even be like, digital marketing, or there's so many ways, right? Especially if you're local. But the idea is for you to start listening to this information and figuring out your piece in the whole thing, because this is about to go fucking ham. This is going ape shit. This is going beyond the beyond. What this Denman Estates, the Rosemont is the name of the mansion. What this offers as an opportunity for humanity is it's reawakening San Antonio as a cosmic city, as a nodal point for the shift where you bring your heart into the seventh tone, the seventh largest city in the nation, right? The San Antonio, seventh tone. And this place, we're going to show you, we need hands and ears and eyes and signatures and all those things to let our politicians and our business people know, and our code writers and the ones that are writing up the blueprints, and that we need to do things different. So we want to offer Benny shells. If you're not familiar with Benny shells, those are the homes that you blow up the bubble, you spray it with air or the concrete, and then you have like this dome home. Hurricane proof, like all kinds of proof, right? Fireproof, all that. Then we also want to bring in earth ships, right? We're basically a recycled home. A lot of recycled and upcycled material to make a home, completely off-grid and sustainable. Geoships. Look up geoships. We want to bring them in the fold, and that's another way of building homes, like a geodesic dome that harnesses energy and also is its own free energy device. Water harvesting, growing mushrooms in tractor trailer containers. We have all the people, and these are all real things. Eden Energy out of Austin, turning trash into fuel, biochar, fertilizer, gas, and also Nature Jap, turning plastic into plastiline and gasoline and diesel, right? We have the innovation all around us. Hydrogen, right? We have all these wind, hydroelectricity. We have all the ways. Ether. We are activating the ether, getting water from the air in the water in the air, the condensation, right? The technology is here. San Antonio is an epicenter. That's why it was placed within, it's here with 2 solar eclipses marking an X over it. Bringing in utopia, bringing in a new calendar system, right? This is why I'm activated today. It's blue resonant night. We're in a throat chakra day. Every Wednesday is a throat chakra day. I've done these meditations. I have my days. Every time I look at this calendar, it almost feels like it's shifting on me. Or I just keep forgetting. But Wednesdays are throat chakra days, and Fridays are heart chakra days within the galactic calendar. So you can key in on those things. If you can remember that, I'm looking at it right now, so I'm not mistaken. It is Fridays is heart chakras, and Wednesdays are throat chakras. So Wednesdays, if you feel this pull, this guidance to either listen, like to a podcast, you could listen to the podcast. I'm going to try to do this every Wednesday. I thought I was doing it on Tuesdays, but it's Wednesday. So Wednesdays are throat chakra. I want to express myself. I want to send you a message. I want to give you the information that you've been asking for. Hey, this ascension process, what does it look like? How can I get involved in it? And how can I be the change that I wish to see in the world? And that's exactly what we're presenting. And here in San Antonio, with this property and everything that we have going on within this calendar system, the new timeline for you, you should be so excited. Well, let me not tell you should be, but you could be. There's a possibility for you to be super duper excited and take all that heartache and all that angst and all that pressure that you've been going through with this tremendous life that we've all been living, to alchemize it and create what our heart has been desiring, which is a space of equilibrium. Like, we want to rest. Can't I just rest for a minute? I would love to just rest. Can I just be at rest and not have to worry about the next project, the next mission? We're on a deadline, the world's changing and they're not ready, and whatever it is. Like, I really want to be on the other end of that. And, we have those moments in between, but to be in that fully and embodied is where I want to be. And I don't want to worry about water. I don't want to worry about food, good food. I don't want to worry about my family. I don't want to worry about wars, being attacked. work, all these things are just, those are so mundane. That's so last year. That's so mall. That's giving mall energy. So outdated capitalism in the form of consumerism, right? Capitalism in the form of consumerism. Capitalism and consumerism, maybe those are the two that don't need to mix, because that's when you get taken advantage of. But if it was capitalism in the form of regenerative and sustainable practices and ideologies, and a solar punk ideology, I think that's a different form of capitalism, where we're making things that put us in a better place, that are not just going to be obsolete, that are going to last ages, and they will age gracefully, right? This is the new tone. This is the new pattern. This is what is screaming through the Hunabku, the galactic butterfly, the galactic central sun. It is pulsing and belching and burping and farting. It's sending out energy from its chest, all from the galactic central sun, that black hole that pulls in light, that pulls in all information, right? If light is a carrier of information, then the black hole is an absorber of mass amounts of information throughout the entire galaxy, and is only going to get full and belch it out and release it as it ebbs and flows and constricts and expands. And this is what we are. We are evolution. We are cosmic. And these cities of light, these cities of cosmic information, this is what we're building. Guangzhou, the city of light, the connection to the Dragon Pavilion, why that land and that pavilion was erected at the time that it was, and why it bleeds out my solar mission here on planet Earth. There's no mistaking we are where we are. And this opportunity that we have to embody and walk the walk and talk the talk is here now. So I hope that enlightened a little bit, like you feel like your own city of light. And I want you to catch us on the next episode. Make sure you tune into everything and go to our website, infiniteu.info, InfiniteU77 on all platforms. And you can even go check out an old video of me when I had short hair, no beard. If you know me. Go back and see the old me on YouTube. And get ready for this winter is interdimensional. I'll be releasing more information as it comes out. Be sure to grab the book, The Beings, on Amazon. It's at a super low discount. I think Amira has forgotten that she put it at a price point that she did. And happy journeys. This is what we came for. And I'm so proud of you, especially for making it all the way through this episode here. Cities of Light. I want you to use your imagination to walk this path with us as we manifest heaven on earth. And with that, we want you to love always in all ways. Peace.
It's the birth of a new way on planet Earth. We welcome this new day on planet Earth. It's the birth of a new way on planet Earth. We welcome this new day on planet Earth. If I commit to make a shift, will you commit to give your gift? If we be the change that we wanna see, the shift comes.